bracelet, because if you're on board, you officially have that bracelet. So now we're going to talk about the matching stud earrings, and we will have drop earrings too. So we'll actually give you your choice of the two. Let's see, do we have those stud earrings? And this stud earring is perfect. I mean, absolutely picture perfect. When they're telling us this is going to sell out also because we have about 600 pairs available. When you think about what every well-dressed woman, every classic woman should have, it should be a pearl stud. Now certainly, and I paid, again, for 6mm studs for my bridesmaids, more than $100. This is a huge stud. This is 11.5 to 12mm. And today, we are doing it at $59. The lowest appraised price was $125, and it's on FlexPay for under $12. Amazing, Josh.
Unbelievable. These earrings could have been the today's special. Every woman should own a pair of pearl stud earrings, but these are unbelievable. At 12.5mm, these are the look of a South Sea stud. Imperial, we built our brand on basics, on classics. My grandfather was one of the first people ever in the United States of America importing pearls from Asia. You know, he was a military man, and throughout his travels around the world, he'd collect pearls. He became very passionate about pearls and started his business bringing some of the first strands from Asia into the United States of America. So when it comes to our strands and when it comes to our stud earrings, we take it so seriously. They have to match absolutely perfect. They have to be gorgeous quality. These studs are simply stunning. You could wear these every single day. They'll be such a staple of your jewelry collection. Okay,
we're going to run out to the phone lines. We're going to say hi to Nan in North Carolina. Nan, welcome to HSN. You're with Josh and Connie, and we understand that you picked up our today's special.
I did. They are beautiful.
What did you love about it, Nan? Do you already have an 18-inch strand?
I do, and it's not Imperial, and it's not as big as this. And they just blew my mind when I saw them.
Okay, let me ask you a question. I think it's kind of obvious, but what about the value for this size?
Great.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, I have bought pearls from other shopping channel, and this price is just phenomenal.
Oh, well, you know what? I can't wait till you see him in person, because you're going to open the box, Nan, and then you're going to want to call Josh back and tell him how much you love them. And you were one of the lucky ones that got it tonight, first dibs on it, so I can't wait till you see it in person.
I can't either. I can't wait for it to get here.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Congratulations, Nan. Congratulations. You're going to love it.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, Josh, let's talk about the stud one more time and how important this is in our jewelry collection, and also how difficult it is to match. Not only find, we were talking about you sort through 100 pearls to find one that looks like this, but to match too.
Oh, exactly. Absolutely. Like I said, I would have loved to have done this stud